Hi, my name is Jonathan Garza, and today we're going to talk about church administration. It is said that you cannot manage what you do not measure, and there's truth in that. There's so much that happens at the church that proper administration can be very difficult. From congregant care to insurance needs, child safety protections and protocols, the list goes on and on and on. And all of these are just required for the daily running of a church body. So Christ gave himself the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastors, and teachers to equip his people for works of service so that the body of Christ may be built up. If you were to die tomorrow, who would carry on the work that God has given you to do? And this is perhaps a morbid question, but I love it because it pushes us to the reality that Christ has equipped us and continues to equip us and will equip others to spread the church that he created. How many dying churches are out there in small communities where they could have life, they could be full, if believers that come into the fold have been given the keys of responsibility sooner? And God doesn't want his church communities to just survive, just make it. He wants them to thrive and not be stagnant. This means that administration is not only a part of that process, it is the process with guided training with which a church will grow in a community. In the business world, risk management is implemented to protect the business's profitability. In the church world, risk management is utilized to protect the souls that are involved. Under current models of proper operational risk management, it requires that you first, 1, identify the risks of daily operations. 2, that you assess and evaluate and prioritize those risks and the likelihood that they could happen. 3, and this is the hard one, that you implement controls to manage those risks. And finally, 4, that you continuously monitor and oversee the effectiveness of those controls and systems that you've implemented. You might say, cool, what does that mean? Well, we don't have time to go through an exhaustive list, so perhaps it would be best to go through just a varied list of the normal holes your average church administration struggles with. And these are the missed items in church administration that, should there be something that happens, it causes the most damage to the body of believers. Firstly, media. Does your church have a phone usage policy, in-house and for designated workers? Does your church have proper guidelines for digital communication with the congregation, especially youth pastor and youth volunteers to the youth that are involved in the church? Any communication regarding minors needs to have special oversight. No one should ever post anything online on a social media platform about a minor or directly communicate with a minor through a social media platform. Insurance. In light of some recent occurrences, many churches are facing being dropped by their insurance company because of today's climate and the things that are happening. So some possible holes in church insurance coverage. Is your church building covered at least up to 80% of its entirety? Is your coverage market value or is it replacement cost? This will allow you to physically get the items and structures fully replaced and allow for inflation over time. You want replacement costs, not just market value. Do you have an inventory, a video inventory of everything in your church? Simply walking around with your phone and looking at things will help you. I mean, how many churches out there have a $50,000 baby grand piano sitting in storage that was popular way back when, that now you have the Nord on stage and you forget that it's there and it's not covered under your insurance? Financial controls. How many individuals do you have counting your weekly tithes? And how many individuals does it take to sign a check? This can be a sensitive topic, as it's usually the most trusted individuals who are given this responsibility. At the end of the day, it's God's money, not yours. We have to protect it. Crisis response plan. Do you have a crisis response plan should something happen? Or even more, do you have a crisis response team of individuals to help when something does happen? This includes emergency action plans should there be a fire during a service, a natural disaster such as a tornado or a bad hailstorm, an active shooter situation, or even just a belligerent or violent visitor situation. Do you have a plan for this implemented? Do you have protection for your congregation should something go down? Allegation response plan. Do you know that if there comes a allegation of violence or sexual misconduct, that you immediately need to, 1, notify your presbyter and your insurance company? That matters. 2, report. Never hold back any reporting of an allegation. Even if it's the mayor himself, you must report it. 3, take all allegations seriously. And 4, suspend the individual that is being alleged. Suspend them immediately. It can be with pay, it can be without pay. You can work out those details depending on the allegation, but you must suspend them from their volunteership. Finally, 6, document the allegation. You must keep a record of what is happening that you can pass that record on to authorities when or should this thing move forward. And finally, whatever you do, when people ask you what's going on, don't say no comment. It makes you look guilty, and worse than that, it makes it look like you don't care to your community that you're actively trying to minister to. Look, all of these areas are biggies regarding administration. But I take to heart the advice my father-in-law gave me. He told me that the could-haves and the should-haves of things that you're not doing right now, don't get hung up on them. Just address them, fix them, start doing them today in the little ways that you can, bit by bit. Administration matters. Good, full, complete, comprehensive, protective church administration is not just ancillary to the call of God. It is vital to the call of God and fulfilling the Great Commission. Thank you.